Welcome into the CHGO Blackhawks Podcast presented by DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook. Download the app and use promo code CHGO when you sign up. Happy Friday. I'm Jay Zawaski with Greg Boysen and Mario Tirabassi. If you are driving in the city, our thoughts and prayers to you as you deal with Taylor Swift in the sky and everything else that's happening in the city today. Woo! Have fun. Very glad to be working remotely today. Make sure you smash the like button on YouTube for us. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. Podcasters, follow us, subscribe to us on your favorite podcast app, and a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify would be greatly appreciated. We've got a lot to get to today. We're going to get to the Stanley Cup Final, of course. I think we got to put our official predictions down on paper, or at least on audio file, video file, whatever you want to call it. We're going to talk about Patrick Kane's hip surgery, and we're going to get to the NHL's very inspiring NHL Draft caps. They are not good looking. No. Unless you're a certain demographic, and then you might love it. So,
but first, we're going to draft our favorite Taylor Swift songs.
It's all you, Mario. I'll be back in 10 minutes.
I know all the ones she did with the National or Aaron Desner I've listened to. So Coney Island gets my vote for my favorite one. You don't have one, Greg?
I couldn't tell you one. I'm being honest, and I'm not I'm not being too cool for Taylor Swift. It's just I'm not her target audience, and I don't, and I'm not mad about that.
Haters gonna hate.
Well, I'm sure Lawrence is her target audience.
I'm sure I will recognize one. I've been in enough sports arenas over the past decade. I'm sure I've heard them.
Yeah.
But, hey, listen, she's going out there. She's on this tour. People are spending thousands of dollars, and she's playing 44 songs a night in 3 hours. So I'll give her props for that. She's giving people their money's worth. That's all I could ask for an entertainer. So good for her.
Yeah.
But I'm still not going. And I'm not leaving Wilmette the entire weekend either. I'm not going anywhere near the city this weekend. The Swifties can have Chicago.
Yeah. If you are in the city, by the way, I was walking down Randolph yesterday, and the Swifties are in town. And if you're someone interested in women, it's a good time to be in Chicago. Let's just put it that way for you. All right, what's your favorite, Mario? Your favorite Taylor Swift song?
I actually enjoy Wildest Dreams.
Okay.
I don't know why, but it hits me in a good spot whenever I hear it. Whenever I would hear it on the radio. They don't play it on the radio anymore because she's probably released, I think, 4 albums since that song came out 2 years ago.
Is that a cover of the Moody Blues song "Wildest Dreams"?
I don't think so.
I know that one.
I don't think so. But yeah, hey, like Greg said, props to her. She's, it's people are putting out a second mortgage on their house to get tickets to this concert, and she's putting on a hell of a show from what I've heard and seen. So yeah, if you're out there at Soldier Field enjoying the show, do that. Enjoy the show.
Enjoy the show. Yeah. Listen to the song Evermore and Coney Island. You would like those, Greg, because you and I are lockstep on music.
Yeah, but I can't do the National, man. They just I've tried so many times. They just
That's going to do it for this episode of CHGO Podcast forever.
I've tried. I'll try again, but it's just too there's no, I need
sad dad.
Yeah. And I'm okay with sad songs. Trust me. Look at the band's shirt I'm wearing. They sing plenty of sad songs, but I need a little catchiness with my sad songs. There's no catchiness.
Jay, come on. Get this man.
I know.
Get this man listen to Boxer.
You can't force it.
I'll try again. I've tried with open minds 3 times. I will give them the Grateful Dead tribute album they did with all those other people is amazing. I love that. So many great takes, but their other stuff, I'll give it another try. I'm now 44. Maybe I've hit the sweet spot for the National.
Get a little sadder, and then you'll fit right in.
Well, I've those days are behind me, hopefully, for a while. Yeah. So if it didn't work, say circa 3.5 years ago, it may never work.
That's true. That's a good point. All right, we should get to hockey before people get mad at us. It's June 2nd. We got plenty of time to talk about the Hawks, but let's start with Patrick Kane, who we got the news yesterday late in the show from Elliot Friedman. He tweeted, Patrick Kane's representative, Pat Brisson, says Kane had a hip resurfacing today under Dr. Edwin Sue. I'm assuming the H is silent. HSU would be Sue As is normal, follow-ups are planned with roughly 4 to 6 months recovery is expected. Brisson says Kane, quote, wants to play for a long time, unquote, and doctors are optimistic that will happen. So today I went on the old internet and I looked up what a hip resurfacing operation is. It'll last anywhere from 1.5 to 3 hours. They make an incision in your thigh to reach the hip joint. Then they dislocate the femoral head out of the socket. Then they trim the head with specially designated power instruments and members of. Then they cement a metal cap over the prepared femoral head. They use a power tool called a reamer to remove the cartilage that lines the socket. They push the metal cup into the socket. The cup is held in place by friction between the bone and the metal. Once the cup is in place, position the femoral head back into the socket and close the incision.
So they give you like a bionic like ball and socket in your hip.
Basically. Yeah, basically. Yeah. I mean,
that doesn't sound pleasant. But to get back to our little music, Femoral Head is my favorite Tool song, by the way.
Yes.
A Tool song. That would actually not surprise me. That sounds awful. And look, 4 to 6 months. That sounds right for something like that to happen. Yes. I always think my neighbor Bob, he had his hip replaced, and the next day he was cutting his lawn. I'm like, oh, well, Patrick Kane will be fine. This doesn't seem like what Bob had.
No, that doesn't seem. This doesn't seem like a good idea.
No, I had a friend of mine, Liam, who's a carpenter, and he had his hip replaced, and he was back working installing floors like 2 weeks later.
Wow. Hey, modern medicine and surgery, they can do some crazy things. Usually, it used to be hip replacements. You'd be, almost a year before you could do anything normal. So
and you walk like Coach Ditka forever that way.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, now it's a lot better. But I think it goes to show, like all the stuff we've seen from Kane over the last few years, where he just has not looked like himself. It makes perfect sense now. Like,
yeah,
this is clearly more than just a little nagging thing he was dealing with. This is a pretty severe injury.
Well, and it's crazy that given a 4 to 6 month time frame, like there's no way after the season this was the first time he explored, okay, what are my options with this? Like, I'm sure this procedure was already brought up to him as an option with this sort of timetable. And it's just surprising to me that they would, he would have it done in June in your UFA year, rather than doing it in, I don't know, December, January, to where by this time now, if say he had it in January, he obviously doesn't get traded, just shuts it down, has this procedure in January. That means he's healthy now going into the summer of his UFA year. And you can say, yeah, I'm back skating. I'm full healthy. I got a new hip. I feel great. And I think it keeps your free agent options open a little bit more than going into free agency in a month and saying, yeah, I just had this hip issue. If you sign me, you really don't know what I'm going to look like, because I might not get on the ice until October or November or December. Completely is going to miss, training camp and his summer workout routine. And this is not young, spry 23-year-old Patrick Kane anymore. This is 34, approaching 35-year-old Patrick Kane, who now has new equipment in his hip. So it's puzzling from a business standpoint to say, have this surgery now going into the summer of your free agent year. That's my biggest takeaway from it.
For sure. And I think part of that too, and I think he needs to be commended, and Dr. Horror Show sort of says it here, Kaner's last gift for the Blackhawks was a second rounder that could have been a first. I think he felt some obligation and said, look, I'm under contract. I can play. I'm going to play. And if they want to trade me, I'll within my limits, I will accept a trade and help the team out. And like, props to him for doing that. Cause like we talked about it last year, he very easily could have just shut it down and done what Jonathan Taves did and said, I'm not right. I'm going to get it fixed. And if I can come back, I can come back. And if not, I can't, and just walk away. Like, and that would have been totally fine. It would have sucked, right, for the Hawks. But at the same time, like, props to Patrick Kane for saying, I'm going to do right by the team here one way or another. I'm going to honor my contract and play through this. or I'm going to go accept a trade somewhere else, and then I'll just deal with it in a summer where I don't have an obligation to a team yet. And then any team that signs him, and I do think there's still going to be plenty of interest in Patrick Kane.
Yeah.
Any team that signs him is already signing him with the knowledge of, okay, this is part of the deal. Just like when the Hawks signed Hossa, they knew it was going to be a few months, so they got to see him on the ice, but they trusted that he was going to get the best treatment. I'm sure there were many physicals gone over and all those sort of things, which could explain why Hossa didn't sign with the Hawks until later in that first day of free agency. Remember that? It was like maybe 4:00 or so when kind of the dust had settled for the first day, and Hossa was one name remaining, and then we were all sort of waiting on pins and needles about like, well, what's going on with Marty Havlat? Because he was unrestricted too, and it was kind of the decision between the two. They must have gotten the news they wanted on Hossa and made the deal. So yeah, I think Kane's going to sign somewhere, but the thing is, okay, he's going to probably cost if it's a healthy Patrick Kane entering free agency, 7-8. Does this drive his value down a little bit? I think it kind of has to a little bit.
I don't think it really does, to be honest with you, because first of all, any team signing Patrick Kane this offseason is not signing him for what he does in October, November, and December. They are signing him for what he does in April, May, and June.
Good point.
They don't care. Like, you're not signing Patrick Kane so he could score a goal on opening night. You're signing him so he scores goals in the Stanley Cup playoffs. Now you have this hip injury that has been a bugaboo for him for 3 seasons, 4th, whatever it's been. It's going to get
3.
It's going to get cleaned up. And like, it was bothering him all last year. I remember opening night in Denver, going in the locker room after opening night, in the visiting locker room at the Ball Arena. It's not as big, and they don't have that extra room that they have at the home facilities where players can go get treatment away from the media. And Patrick Kane was stretched out on the floor in the visitor locker room with the trainer stretching out his hip on opening night. So it was already a factor from night one, and it obviously slowed him down. It slowed him down in New York, even though we all kind of joke like, oh, look at it, he's motivated now, but it's not the same player. So now a team knows that's going to be taken care of. And he's not going to revert back to 2016 Patrick Kane, but he could at least revert back to 2019 Patrick Kane when he had that great year. Him and Jonathan Taves had those great years together. He's not going to be as fast and as dynamic, but he's still going to be a healthy Patrick Kane. And outside of this injury and that broken collarbone, he's not had a long injury history. Like, he hasn't been beaten up because for most of his career, he hasn't been getting hit because you couldn't catch him. Now it's a different story. Yeah. So I really don't think it's going to drive that market that much one way or the other. In fact, it may have a team be like, okay, we were going to give you 2 years, but now we know that this hip thing's okay. Maybe we'll give you a 3rd year to lower that average, that AAV. Instead of giving you 2 years, 18 million, how about we give you 3 years, 26 million, 25, and we give you that 3rd year. So I don't think it moves the needle that much. There may be some teams that are kind of like, I don't know, but I think if you're a team that's one player away from making a serious run at it, you put your chips in on the Patrick Kane table.
Well, especially looking at this free agent class too, because it's him. I mean, honestly, it's Taves if he decides he wants to play, which still remains to be seen. I mean, Kane is by far the best available free agent, even coming off of hip surgery. Tarasenko too, pretty good, but if I'm putting my money on one guy to perform, it's Patrick Kane. Like, he's got the track record, and I think he'll be feeling better than he's felt in a long time when he comes back.
Yeah, and I kind of go back to the daily face-off projections that we talked about. It was 2 weeks ago, where they projected maybe his free agent contract coming out to about 3 years, and I think it was like 5.75 or something like that. Like, now knowing that it's going to be coming off of a surgery like this, that makes a little bit more sense, because I think teams are, as much as it's, he still has the resume of, being Patrick Kane, being, this first ballot Hall of Famer, Conn Smythe winner, 3-time Stanley Cup champion, former MVP, all that stuff. He's still getting up there. He's had a lot of miles on him. And even though he's had a surgery to kind of get his hip right, at this point of his career in hockey players having surgeries, it's a little bit of a question mark. So, I think the market for him, there's still going to be a good one out there. And, kind of like we were talking about yesterday, just kind of spitballing at the end of the show, with his time frame not necessarily being ready to go potentially at the start of the year, I wonder if there's a team that might have some wiggle room as a contender to kind of maybe shenanigan their way into saying like, yeah, we have an agreement with him, and they sign him actually to his deal after the season starts, move some players around with like LTIR stuff, and then get him in with a deal like that, and not necessarily say, oh, yeah, we were cap compliant here, and then 2 or 3 days after the season starts, you shift some players around, and oh yeah, now we have Patrick Kane on our books too. Like, I wonder if that we might see something like that where it's not necessarily, oh, he has a deal July 1st.
I'm looking up right now, like, what's the latest that they can sign? I wonder if there's even a deadline on that.
I mean, you can sign free agents up until the trade deadline.
Yeah. That's interesting.
So I don't know.
You assume there's going to be some sort of bidding war for him. I mean, it's not going to be 31 teams bidding for him, of course, but
no,
I think there's going to be more than like 2 or 3 interested. But I mean, for him, it doesn't make a difference, right? It's just going to be prorated. If the agreement's already made, like, hey, just sign me when you sign me or whatever.
Right.
But I wonder if you're going to wait, are you saying wait till the deadline to sign him, or wait till like Christmas?
No, wait. No, I mean, like, wait till after the first day of the season when you have to be cap compliant. And
yeah.
And then kind of, if there's a team that, takes on some LTIR money or something like that, and then comes and brings him in, maybe that's an option. I'm not sure.
Yeah, no, I see it. Yeah, because that compliant. Yeah, you're right. That compliance thing is key, and then you can just figure it out as you go.
Right.
Interesting. The league would hate that. I know that.
Sure.
They would hate the idea of it, and I wonder if teams would be like, "Well, f you. Now we're not going to help take money off your books. You can add Patrick Kane." But,
yeah, I think the players' union probably wouldn't be cool with that either. But hey,
if it's not illegal.
Right, exactly. It's not illegal until someone makes it illegal. So if some team does it and everybody makes a stink out of it, then it magically becomes illegal. Kind of like that whole ruling they just made about the coaches not being able to skate with players at certain times. And the Canucks got fined $50,000 for it last year. Now all of a sudden it's okay. So I wonder if they get that money back. But
it's like they did with what was it, after the Luongo deal? They went and kind of like retroactively changed the rules, and punished teams for deals that had already been signed. Wait a minute, we signed the deal under the old rules. You can't punish us for. Well, yes, we can. We just did.
Yeah.
So enjoy that. I don't know. I'm excited. I don't know. I'm really curious as to what's next for Patrick Kane and Taves too, to a lesser extent. But like, I was thinking about that today. Like, would it shock you? We're doing our show July 1st, which is less than a month away. Crazy. And like Jonathan Taves, one of the first guys signed.
I'd be surprised.
That'd be more surprising that he's coming back to play.
I wonder when you will find that out.
If he's not coming back, we're gonna know before July 1st.
You would think so, or is he gonna say, "Let's just see what's out there July 1st"? And but the hell no, a player of his caliber already knows what the interest is.
He knows, and I think he already knows his answer too.
I think he does too.
I think he's known it for a long time.
I think that April, what was it, 13th, 14th?
Yeah.
I think he might have known his decision then.
They certainly felt like it.
Visited us.
Was that
the day the mouse visited us in the press room?
Oh God, yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah,
he was just saying goodbye to his buddy Jonathan.
Yeah, exactly. I if I'm handicapping, I think we all agree he's retiring, but I don't know. I could just see him just sitting at home right now, like, looking around, doesn't have a wife or kids, like bored out of his mind. Like, you know what? Maybe I'm not retired. If anyone's going to do that, it's Taves. That's all I'm saying.
Maybe.
That's crazy, man. Like, just think about this month ahead for us. We literally go to the draft. We're there for that week. We drive back to Friday the draft, straight to Fifth Third Arena for the first day of development camp. The next day is the beginning of free agency. We'll be on a show then.
On a Saturday.
On Saturday for our free agency show. My God, like it is about to pick up. I'm just, that Nashville trip and those 2 days are going to be just insane.
I'm excited.
Yep.
I cannot wait.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a good time. It's gonna be a big week for us. Not just with our coverage, but just in general. Big week for CHGO Blackhawks.
Yeah.
It's gonna be it's gonna be fun.
And there's, as much as we've talked about, since the season ended, and even before that, who are they going to draft? Who are they going to sign? What by 4th of July, we could be talking about a completely different outlook for the Blackhawks after the draft, after the opening of free agency, things they do that way. And we might have answers about where Patrick Kane is going to play, what Jonathan Toews might do if he's going to play somewhere else or retire. Like 4th of July, when I'm sitting back having a Goose Island beer and blowing off fireworks in my backyard, this is gonna be a completely different Blackhawks world.
It's gonna be crazy. And like, seriously, the draft trip, like not least exciting, but the least stressful thing is the Connor Bedard pick. That's the one thing we know is going to happen.
Yeah.
And the rest of it is anything, like literally anything can happen those 2 days. And when they were talking to us about how many like gatherings you want to do with fans, and like, we kind of can't. Like, there's going to be so much going on.
Yeah.
That we're not going to be able to just like hang out. We are going to have a get together Tuesday of the draft. We're going to be down in Nashville. We're working on the final details of it. But if you are planning on coming down, plan on hanging out with us on to that Tuesday. Yep. We're also probably going to do something a little more casual, like an unofficial meetup Wednesday before the draft. But we're going to be down there. But we should have news for you next week on exactly precisely like where to get tickets, where we're going to be, where it's going to, everything's going to pop up. And remember, if you're a diehard, you'll save 20% on it. So
maybe we'll crash the Blackhawks pre-draft party on that Wednesday. Go say hello to everybody over there.
Yeah.
I mean, that's where Blackhawk fans are going to be. Might as well go where they're going to be.
Yeah, that's true. So yeah, there's a couple things the Hawks we should get to these. The Hawks released these yesterday. If you're not going to Nashville, they're having an official watch party at the Salt Shed. That is 1357 North Elston. That's the 28th Wednesday from 3 to 10. They expect the first pick to be announced around 6 p.m. So there's going to be like, music, live music, food and drinks, family activities, rally towels, a bunch of other giveaways. So that's if you're in Chicago. If you're going to Nashville that Wednesday, they're having a party at the Sky Deck at Assembly Food Hall, 5055 Broadway. Again, these are official Blackhawks parties. That's 1 to 6 p.m. No ticket required, so just show up. And then there's an after party that does require tickets from 8 p.m. to 12 a.m. So Hawks have a ton of stuff going on. You can find all that at ChicagoBlackhawks.com.
They're going to
our official thing will be Tuesday, probably late afternoon in Nashville. So
are they going to shoo people out right before the pick is made? 1 to 6?
I think you need a ticket after that. How can you do that?
I don't know. I went to the big
Chicago Blackhawks select. They turn the TVs off. All right, everybody out.
Yeah. I went to the Big Ten basketball tournament. This is like almost 15 years ago. And it was at the United Center, and they have two, they do 2 sessions that they have tickets for. So you get, I think it was like 2 games per ticket. So after the second game, they make everybody go out. And they clean the UC a little bit, and then everyone that has tickets to session 2 comes back in. And I remember having a ticket to both of them. It was a gift, and I was like, I have a ticket to both. Like, do I have to leave? And they're like, you have to get out. And I was like, oh, okay, sorry. So I had to go out, stand outside the door for like 20 minutes, and then walk back in. So, I mean, there's ways to do it, but
gotta put the new urinal cakes in.
I think that's the biggest thing.
That's definitely what it is.
Cleaning the bathrooms and
all
that. But
that's
it'll be That would be fun. We could get some DX shirts and get a little tank and roll up to their party.
There you go. Hey, and if you're looking for a Blackhawks urinal cake for your man cave, I don't know if FOCO has them, but if anyone does, it's our friends at FOCO. Not only can you get urinal cakes and banana hammocks, you can also get fitted out in the best sports gear around. Hoodies, shoes, signs, bobbleheads, and everything in between. It is spring, almost summer, and baseball season is here. Get your Aloha. It's not till June 21st.
Okay, come sit in my office and tell me it's not summer. I'm sweating over here.
It felt like winter like 2 days ago, so
yeah,
you never know. But get your Aloha shirts, your straw hats, your polos, your bags, everything you need for a game. You notice when we're at CHGO how sweet our set looks with all that stuff donated from FOCO. So we thank them for that. Check out FOCO.com or click the link in our description below for all non-presale items. Use the promo code CHGO for 10% off. Again, that's FOCO.com, FOCO.com.
Hey, and you know what the perfect accessory for your summer sports gear you buy from FOCO is a great pair of sunglasses to top it all off, to cap off and tie together your summer outfit. And you can get those sunglasses from our friends at Shady Rays. They have you covered for the warm weather ahead with premium polarized shades at a very affordable price. Shady Rays is an independent sunglasses company that offers a world-class product that's just as good as any expensive pair we've ever worn. I like to think they're better than any of those expensive brands. They have durable frames and extremely clear optics for all your outdoor adventures. And that's not all. Shady Rays offers the most insane protection of all eyewear. Every pair of sunglasses is backed by lost and broken replacements. If you lose or break your pair, even on day one, they told us they'll send you a brand new pair, no questions asked, so you can wear them to the Taylor Swift concert this weekend. Go absolutely crazy when she plays your favorite song. Lose your sunglasses, and Shady Rays will get you another pair the next day. That's how that works. Together with their customers, Shady Rays is providing much-needed support to nonprofit partners across the United States through the Shady Rays Impact Program. They're doing everything from building play sets for pediatric cancer patients to providing young adults with the MS, the outdoor adventure of a lifetime. Shady Rays is making an impact in your community and others like it now and for years to come. And if you don't love your Shady Rays, but you will, you can exchange for a new pair or even return them for free within 30 days. There is no risk when you shop. Shady Rays has your back, and they show you how much they love you, almost as much as we love our listeners. Shady Rays is giving out their best deal of the season. Go to shadyrays.com. Use the promo code CHGO, and you're going to get 50% off all orders of 2 or more pairs of their awesome polarized sunglasses. So try for yourself. The shades rated 5 stars by 250,000 people.
It's got to be more than that by now.
Well, you remember it used to be 200,000 5-star reviews. It's now 250,000.
Oh, yeah.
That's just from our CHGO satisfied customers.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks, everybody. We appreciate you. Hey, speaking of the draft, I don't know if your guys' social media timelines have been inundated like mine have today
with
this year's draft hat that all the prospects are going to be wearing.
I haven't seen it until today when it was brought up in our work chat.
Lawrence, can you share?
Yes.
I mean, okay. For those listening on the podcast, it is it's black on the front. It is white mesh on the back. It has like a shield shape on the front with the Blackhawks and logo in front of the stripes and says Chicago Blackhawks. Then on the side, there's the Tomahawk logo, and it has a red bill. It is the most like, let's make a hat on Canva hat I've ever seen in my life.
It's the draft hat from NHL 23.
Just try something cool.
It's gonna, you know what? It's gonna be the coolest Blackhawks ever because Connor Bedard is gonna be the first person to wear one.
Fair enough.
Yeah, the street cred is gonna shoot through the roof the second that kid puts that ugly hat on.
I wonder what that'll look like. What would that look like?
Oh, there he is.
Oh, it could look like
that. Breaking news: Connor Bedard has shot up to 6'5".
What a growth spurt!
Amazing.
I don't like the way he wears that hat. He doesn't wear it respectfully like I do. You know what I mean? Pull that break back, son.
Oh goodness. Yeah,
You're welcome.
that
you,
was
Lawrence.
it's wonderful
That was
work, Lawrence. Loved it. Yeah, it's just, it makes me sad for for a lot of reasons, but it makes me sad because like that's a Fanatics hat and that's who's in charge of all the merchandise and now all the jerseys, the official NHL stuff. So hey, let's put one patch on the front, one patch on the side. We'll do it for 32 different teams. It'll be real easy, real cheap, and we'll sell just we'll sell just enough of them to make a profit. And yep, it'll just really be a hit with the kids, right? Yeah, good meeting, guys. That's my impression of a Fanatics meeting.
The hat's fine. If you're looking for like just a standard Hawks hat, it's fine. It checks the boxes. It fits on your head. It's got the logo on it. Like it's got the team colors.
Yeah.
But
you can get that hat at a gas station for $12.
Yes, this is the draft hat. It should be special. It should be aimed towards kids aged that are going to be wearing it at the draft. 18, 19, 17-year-old kids.
Yeah.
Not old dudes like me.
I beg the NHL to listen to the youths just a little bit.
They're designing these hats for guys that need a new fishing hat on their boat in northern Ontario this summer, not for 18 19-year-old kids in big cities. I'm not like brokenhearted over this hat because those hats, even though they say one size fits all, it's a bold-faced lie. Those hats do not fit me.
No.
Yeah. So I'm not like, I wasn't gonna get one anyway because I know those hats just they make me look like the umpire from League of Their Own.
I love the specificity of that reference.
Well, because there's a line. Tom Hanks says that. You look like a little penis with that hat on.
Yeah.
That's the look I get when I wear those hats. That's why I get the big wool fitted hats for my large melon. And I usually wear them backwards because they look better. But
Yeah,
I'm supporting our friends at DNVR today.
Well, that was me with the draft hat I actually liked was the Yokoharu draft, where it was the red hat with the stripe. It like had like the jersey stripes on the side. Yeah. And it was a bit unique, but I looked ridiculous in it because I was 40 at the time and it was not made for me. That's how it should be.
Yeah.
It should be not made for me.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I should not be your test market for a draft cap. Look at like the NFL draft hats. I always look at those like I could never wear that. Good. That's what they want. They don't want me wearing that hat.
These hats are going to be featured on a lot of Twitter profiles of guys holding fish. That's where you're going to see these hats.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and it's except for the side patch, where the tomahawk logo was, it looks exactly like the Stanley Cup hats. Like it's just going to have that shield in the middle with whatever team wins, either Vegas or Florida, and then it's going to have the big Stanley Cup in the middle on a gray hat in the front with the white mesh. Like it's literally it's copy paste. And it's disappointing. I don't know. It's a grander discussion about Fanatics, but man, it just makes me sad.
When the Cubs won the World Series, those hats were cool. The black with like the big bold black and gold print.
Yeah.
Like they were bold and they were different, and there hasn't been one like that before, and there hasn't been like it since, and that's how it should be. It should be unique. It's a unique situation, it's a unique event. It should not look like like you said, copy and paste of what they have every year.
Yeah. I still have the 13 and the 15 cup hats for the Blackhawks because the designs were unique. They were different. They looked good. I remember in 2013, when they won the cup, they're all wearing the hat. I was like, that hat looks awesome. I want to go and get that. And I went to the Dick's Sporting Goods by my house at the time. I think it was the next day, and they had the display, and I was like, sweet, I'm getting the hat. And it was really exciting. I feel like I was 23 at that, as an early 20-year-old fan of either the Panthers or or Golden Knights. Now, granted, it's the first cup of either of those franchises, so maybe you go out and get it anyway. But, I feel like if you put that hat up, this the team just won the Stanley Cup. Go get your gear, and here's the hat. Here's the milk toast beige hat. I can't see people being like, oh, I'm going to go to my local retailer and get it tomorrow. Like, I don't think so. It just the designs don't pop anymore.
No, they're ugly. They're not good. Hopefully the shirts are better for whoever wins the cup. But like, I think also too, if you go to Jesus, I think if you go to Fanatics right now and look, it already shows you what the designs are.
Mm-hmm.
There's no surprise. Like, that was the other cool thing is your team wins a championship and then the shirt is unveiled.
Yeah.
Hey, congratulations, Chicago Cubs. You just won the World Series. Like, it's all like dubbed over, But it's like that was the first time you got to see it was on the players. Then immediately the first commercial was how to get yours.
Yeah.
Every championship ever. I remember the Bulls had the like the cartoon, like the what do you call it? Like the caricature shirts.
Caricatures.
I couldn't get those fast enough. I still have them somewhere.
I love those shirts.
I got all the Bulls ones in the 90s. Those were the coolest ones. I wish they brought those back.
Yeah. Well, it's just, I hopefully it's not a sign of what's to come with Fanatics, but I don't have a lot of hope that things are going to get better.
Yeah. So. Well, if you want really good Blackhawk shirts, go to allchgo.com /to CHGO locker.
Yep.
And you'll just find the best designs anywhere. Screw Fanatics.
Yeah, I agree. As Jay agrees so much, he's frozen.
He agreed so hard. He is now stuck in agreement.
I love live podcasting. It's the best.
It's great.
I mean, that's amazing. I should have left him up, but I don't know what happened to him. I mean,
that needs to be his new Twitter.
Twitter profile. Yeah,
we'll definitely be clipping that for him. Yeah.
Give him the karate chop.
He said his computer just shut down. It's never done that before.
Oh, that's no good. He had too many tabs open.
Yeah,
yep.
he forgot.
Yes, exactly.
Diet sodas, cans of diet soda. Yeah, no, he must have forgot to plug it in. I've been there, done that. So we can't put his frozen pose back up, can we? No, it's gone.
Oh, can we? Oh, no, I got rid of it. Oh,
it's probably gone. Anyways, yeah, I mean, I think I just wish it's a grander kind of image of the NHL of just kind of not really being the forefront of creativity. And like you said, though, it's just like Taylor Swift isn't marketed to you. Those hats aren't marketed to the kids. Like it's right. It's the dad hat market that they're trying to corner.
It's unfortunate because it's a lost opportunity where they can gain fans. Like just the having a cool hat, kids will wear it regardless of what it's on the hat. If it looks cool. Like case in point, 90% of the hats I've bought in the last 2 years, I bought because they match multiple shirts that I own. Like I don't care what logo is on it. If it looks cool and the color is vibrant and it like I can use it to the match with a few shirts I own, then I'm going to buy it. So I look at it this way: the NHL with their lame merch, they're saving me a lot of money because I don't want to buy any of it.
Yeah. Sorry about that. Honest to God, I was leaning back to applaud Mario's transition to the CHGO merch read, and I heard a pop, and my computer just restarted. It has never done that. I've had this computer for 4 years. It's never happened to me ever.
You froze in a great pose. You
froze like this. Like it was great.
You're about to karate chop somebody.
Yeah. You ever see the video of the kids lined up to dab? And it's like all the kids cool, and then the last kid comes, he's like,
that's definitely what you look like.
He's me. That kid was me.
Yeah.
I love the commentary on that video too.
Oh my Lord. Favorite video.
That's good. Good stuff.
While I was gone, did we get to our super chats?
No, we haven't yet.
Not.
All right, let's do that.
Let's knock those out.
Got one from Corey K, $2 super chat. Thank you. Corey says, is the NHL Draft Combine televised? I don't see it anywhere on the NHL Network schedule. I can't imagine other networks are chomping at the bit to broadcast it. But maybe ESPN Plus would show it, but I don't see any sort of broadcast info about it at all.
I'm going to guess one of the down the dial TSN or Sportsnet channels might have it in Canada. I don't think you're going to find it in the US. If it's not on NHL Network, I don't think you're going to find it in the US. Plus, it's not like the NFL Combine. I mean, as far as coverage and what you want to see out of it, you're going to see guys doing some pull-ups, doing some broad jumps. You're going to see them riding a stationary bike until they throw up. It's not the most compelling of television, so I mean, there's definitely people who would want to watch it. Obviously, people are asking if you can watch it. But the NFL Combine, it's a little bit different. The Combine skills translate more, and the commentary about all the players too is big and important. And I think if the NHL were to televise the Combine, the commentary would be really important because it's different than the NFL or NBA Combine, where a lot of the players are well known because of college football or college basketball or things like that. But with the NHL, you got players from Europe, you got Canadian junior players, you got NCAA players, like guys that a lot of people maybe haven't heard about before. So the commentary, I think, would be more important than what you're actually physically watching. And the NHL Combine, it's like the skills that they do, it translates differently. Like you can measure leg strength, you can measure explosiveness from a strength standpoint, but they don't do anything on the ice. Like they don't combine burst on the ice or hardest shot or anything. It's not like a skills competition. It's more of just their physical combine.
Yeah. The most important things that happen in the Combine are the one-on-one meetings that the teams have with the players. It's not about how many pull-ups they can do. I'm sure that gets taken into effect, but yeah, I mean, you have to be a super hardcore hockey fan, Corey K, if you want to watch that, because it's not exciting. Like I'm even the type of guy that, like, when the Hawks said they weren't doing the on ice stuff at development camp, I was a little disappointed just for the fact that it would have, the whole Connor Bedard and seeing these kids. But after about like 2 days of them doing the same thing, it's kind of like, all right, I'm over this. Like, let's play some games. So
yeah.
I can't imagine the need for watching teenagers do pull-ups on TV is huge, but in Canada, you never know. Maybe TSN 17 will have live broadcasts.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Was it the VO2, whatever that test is, where they got the biking one?
Yeah. The lung capacity test.
Yeah, that like Duncan Keith is legendary for like yawning through, like, I got this. I'll be on here for
right.
days. You guys just lock up. All right. I'll be here in the morning when you're done. Yeah. It's like the legend of Duncan Keith began at that Combine. That's for damn sure. We got one more nice comment here from our buddy AJ. It says, recently migrated to the show after exclusively listening to CHGO White Sox for the past year. You guys do a great job. Keep it up. Thank you, AJ. And keep watching everybody. We appreciate it.
Took you so long?
Yeah.
Finally fed up of the White Sox.
You weren't super interested in what Buddy Robinson was up to on a night-to-night basis? The Juju Terra saga?
Yeah.
You want to hear about Mackenzie Entwistle's parents?
Yeah, we're going to have to explain the inside joke to you because you missed it. You missed the bit, but that's all right. We got all next season to queue, but thanks for joining us, AJ, and also watching, Sean and Herb and Vinny. They do a great job covering a not-so-great baseball team.
Yeah.
That's correct. All right, should we talk some Cup here? Should we do it? All right, it's finally here. Tomorrow, the puck drops on the series. Panthers and Vegas. And as I've been thinking about this all week, because we've had all week to think about it, I don't know if I feel any more confident or convinced one way or the other on who's going to pull this thing off. It just seems very, very even.
Yeah. I will say, after talking with Liam McHugh yesterday, him talking about the layoff for the Panthers, I am a little less confident in my Panthers pick. Just a little. It just kind of sets in like, oh yeah, they have had a really long layoff, and they're just going to start on the road. So I know that hasn't been too much of a problem for them throughout this postseason. But I mean, they're really going to have to find their legs immediately in this series and not let Game 1 get away from them. But I think I'm going to stick with the Panthers. I really feel like. Like we talked about it earlier this week, like those teams that feel like they're on a special run, that's what the Panthers feel like to me. So I think Bobrovsky can keep up what he's been doing. I think there hasn't been a more clutch player in this playoffs than Matthew Tkachuk. Like you need guys like that. So I'm going to go with the Panthers. I think earlier this week I said in 6 so they could win on home ice. I'm leaning towards staying with them in 6, but man, 7 games of a Stanley Cup Final. I'm never going to be opposed to that.
Oh hell yeah!
Yeah,
14 is for fun.
Sure.
Yeah. The layover is concerning, but they also had a 6-day layover between the Maple Leafs and the Hurricanes series, and they swept the Hurricanes. So this is almost double that layover. But some guys are going to use it to their advantage to heal up some bumps and bruises and feel good. And it's not like they're sitting at home eating sour cream and onion potato chips for 12 straight days and then got to get on the ice. They're working on it. They may take a period to get their legs back, but it's the Stanley Cup Final. It's the energy in that building in Las Vegas is going to be incredible. I don't think it's going to take very long for them to get in. Now, those first few shifts, they're going to have to really just play simple and smart and not try and go crazy. And then once they get those game legs back under them, they'll be right there. So it's a tough series to pick because on paper, Vegas should probably win this series. But just the way it's been going for Florida is if Sergei Bobrovsky keeps this going, I don't see how Vegas beats him 4 games.
Right.
And I'm sure there are a lot of people, Panthers fans, that are nervous about, oh man, when's he gonna turn back into a pumpkin here? Like when are we gonna get bad regular season Bob back? Hopefully for them, it doesn't happen until next November. And this Vegas goaltending run, how long does that last? When does Adin Hill look like Adin Hill? Like he had 2 shutouts in the Western Conference Final. Now, a lot of that has more to do with the way the team plays in front of him than what he's doing. He's not seeing a ton of shots, and he's making the saves that he has to. Like he hasn't seen a ton of grade A scoring chances, but when he has, he's been solid and stopping more than he's letting in. And that's all you need out of your goalies. So these two teams play very similar style. They're both big on forechecks. They're big on puck possession. They play solid defensive structures. They don't allow a ton of scoring chances. They don't take a ton of penalties. So if one team can, get a couple of power play goals in those first couple of games, it can go a long way. I'm still going to take the Panthers. I just think it's their year. Nobody has an answer for Matthew Tkachuk. What he did in that Carolina series with 2 overtime goals and essentially a third one, winning the series with 5 seconds to go, whatever it was. Vegas doesn't have an answer for that, so they got to shut down everybody else. But Vegas is deep. Vegas has got Jack Eichel, who is in a Stanley Cup Final before Connor McDavid, just like we all predicted back when they were both drafted 1 and 2. But they've got guys that are from that first run in 2018. William Karlsson, Riley Smith, Jonathan Marchessault, who's a Conn Smythe contender. He's been huge for them. You've got 4 guys in this series that are the Conn Smythe favorites, Tkachuk and Bobrovsky. And if the Panthers win, God, that's a tough choice. Yeah. Especially if Tkachuk has another couple of game-winning goals in the series, and I pretty much expect him to at this point. And then if the Knights win, depending on how that goes, Marchessault's been there for all the big goals, but Eichel has played a tremendous 200-foot game. I think I never gave him enough credit for how good a defensive player he is, but he's been fantastic. So it's tough. So I'm going to go 7 games because I want to see these two teams play 7 games, and then I'll do the Florida Panthers becoming the second team in NHL history to win a Stanley Cup in the city of Las Vegas, and then maybe some chick will flash on the glass when the Panthers are taking it out, just like that happened when the Capitals did.
We can all hope. Everything you guys say,
moments.
Yeah, I mean, of course. Everything you say is lockstep with where I'm at. And the other thing is look at the path the Panthers have had. They beat Boston. they beat Toronto, they beat Carolina. And if you were going to say, who are the 3 best teams in the East? Who are the 3 teams you really think have the best chance of winning the Stanley Cup? That's probably the order in which you listed them going into the playoffs. Boston, Toronto, Carolina, and Florida took them all down. So I don't want to undersell the Knights and say this is by far the easiest opponent the Panthers have faced, but this is by far the easiest opponent the Panthers have faced. And I think both teams can win. That's why I'm going 7 games too. I think it's going to be super close for all the reasons you guys said, but the layoff, yeah, I think it's concerning. And I think maybe they lose game 1 in Vegas, but guess what? Losing game 1 of a 7-game series on the road, if you get a split, you're happy, right? Starting a series on the road. So fine. If that's what it is. And look, when was the last game of the Vegas and Dallas series? What day was that? Was it
4 days ago?
Yeah. So it's not like they've been just got off the ice. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's a long layover for them too.
Yeah.
So it's going to be tough. I'm rooting for this series to go long. I want the Panthers to win because Matthew Tkachuk's my favorite player in the league, and Tuomo Ruutu is a coach on their team. So there's my rooting interest lie. But I think it'd be cool to see Vegas do it, a team that fresh into the league, and kind of for a team that's only been around for so long, to like already even reinvented themselves once. You know, like they kind of had their run, like, let's tweak it a little bit. Let's make some changes, go here and there, and to come back and do it again is really impressive, especially when, just like the Panthers, when the playoffs began, not a lot of people gave them a chance, and here they are. So I'm excited about it. It's going to be great, but I'm going Panthers in 7.
Yeah, this is Vegas's maybe their last chance to really do this because they're getting older, they're getting more expensive. You know, cap crush is going to happen to them, and they're there. Who knows if they're going to get back? You know, it's taken them 6 years to get back after the first time, so there might be a little more pressure on them. And ask Dan Marino, like, hey, you got to win when you get there because you never know when you're going to be back. So, people may say, oh, Matthew Tkachuk's young, he's going to have plenty more chances to get there. Connor McDavid's still waiting for his first one, and he's got to watch Jack Eichel play for the Cup.
Matthew's got his father reminding him, you might never get this chance again.
Yep.
Well, and think about, also on the Panthers side is Eric Stahl. Like he won when was he a rookie or maybe his second year with Carolina in 06. And as far as I know, he hasn't been back to a final since then. So until now. So I mean, that's quite the layoff between opportunities. So there's at least someone in that room, at least one guy that can attest to, taking advantage of the opportunity. And like you mentioned, Greg, like Marcia Show, Riley Smith, like William Karlsson, those guys were with Vegas for their inaugural season, their first run to the Cup final. And it's by crazy chance that, an expansion team is going to be in the Cup final for this, second time in 6 years of existence. So, I mean, you have to make the most of those opportunities. So it's fun. There's going to be a lot of fun storylines in this one. There's some former Blackhawks with the Panthers on the team, behind the bench and on the ice. And are there any with Vegas? I can't think of. Are there any former Hawks with Vegas?
There are quite a few guys though that played with the Chicago Wolves when they were the Vegas.
Sure, yeah.
So you got some, Nick Hague and Zach Whitecloud and Keegan Colasar, Nicholas Waugh. Those were all key guys when the Wolves went to the 2019 Calder Cup final and lost. So there's some area fans have probably seen them alive, and that's a cool story too. Because you gotta remember, Jonathan Marchessault and Riley Smith were both Florida Panthers and taken by the Vegas Golden Knights in that expansion draft. They made that I don't remember the exact trade, but they made a trade to protect somebody else.
Was it to protect Hornquist?
I don't remember who it was.
I remember they were protecting someone, and you were like, really?
So they traded them Riley Smith for them to take Marchessault, or maybe they traded Marchessault for them to take Smith. It was one of those things. So now you get those two guys. Can't tell me they don't want to stick it to the Panthers after that in the biggest stage of them all. So lots of fun storylines. Should be a great series, and I wish I was I wish I was covering it because that wouldn't suck to be in South Beach and Vegas for a week.
Sure.
That would not be bad. That's for sure. Actually, Vegas right now might be a little too hot, but whatever. It's fun either way. By the way,
It's a cool 68 degrees in the casino.
There you go.
Yeah.
Constantly. Robin Leonard, who's not involved in the season or the team at all, but he's technically a Vegas Golden Knight, and future Hawk Phil Kessel is on the Golden Knights.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I don't think he would get his name on the cup.
Oh, he didn't
play this year.
Hasn't played a single second this year, so I wouldn't think so.
He'd probably just put some snakes in it anyway.
Kessel would get his name on because he played more than half of the regular season, but he's been scratched since the opening round, which is just a damn shame.
Bruce Cassidy, former Hawk, true.
Yep.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, that's true.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right, we should wrap things up, but we gotta do some reads first. Before we do, I want to tell everybody I'm going to be off for a couple of days next week. I'm getting my wisdom teeth out and what do you call it? A new tooth. What's the word I can't like? Implant.
Dental implant.
An implant.
I broke a tooth, literally, totally on brand, on an atomic fireball. So I got to get an implant, and I got to get all my. Finally, after 30 years of being told I need my wisdom teeth out, I'm like, screw it. You're going to be in there, just do it.
Yeah.
And if anyone has $7,000 they want to send me, my Venmo is at Zawaski.
Yeah. Well, this will be our last full lineup show for a while because you're going to miss the first half of next week. I'll be off the second half of next week, taking a few days off. So the next time all three of us are back won't be until a week from Tuesday, I believe, unless Mario is going to squeeze in some days off after that. So
maybe I will.
He's going to need a rest. You're going to need a rest. I'm carrying the show.
Get my shoulders worked on. Get a shoulder resurfacing.
I don't know. Can I drink beer after I get my wisdom teeth out?
Probably not immediately. I would definitely wait a couple of days. Yeah. I mean, they do say to keep, they do say that you don't want dry sockets, but I'm not sure if Goose Island is what you want to lube up those sockets with.
Just soak some cotton balls in 312.
Yeah.
Just like, oh yeah, that's numbing it.
Well, the alcohol will kill any bacteria. So
see, all right, I'm gonna bring it up with my dental surgeon.
There you go. Do that. Definitely do that. Hey, Goose Island, they are the proud beer sponsor of us here at CHGO, and they have been Chicago's beer since 1988. And Jay, if you're looking for options to soak those gauze pads in, why not try the Goose IPA, the 6-time medal winner at the Great American Beer Fest, always in style with a citrus aroma and bold hop finish. Or you could go with the Tropical Beer Hug, the dry hopped Imperial IPA, which is a 9.9 ABV, dangerously easy to drink, and that'll definitely kill any bacteria in your wisdom teeth holes. Full Pocket Pills, of course, the everyday beer that is what the Goose Island beer brewers are drinking. And as the golden sun beats down on you, why not crack open a golden can of 312, the staple of Goose Island's illustrious beer roster. And hey, if you're in the Chicago area, if you need a pregame meal and beer before you go to the Taylor Swift concert, you can grab an ultra fresh brewery exclusive beer at the Goose Island Original Brew House on Clybourne Avenue in Lincoln Park, or you can go to their tap room, which is on Fulton Street in Westtown. Again, that is the Goose Island Beer Company, Chicago's beer. Hey, Taylor,
there she is.
Give us a like.
How cool must it be to just be able to shut down a damn city?
Hey, that's it's quite the power.
I have no idea.
Speaking of power, the Comment program is committed to helping families and businesses in the communities they serve by helping manage energy usage and lower energy bills now and into the future.
That's right. ComEd offers a wide variety of incentives on lighting and other efficiency upgrades to commercial, industrial, and public sector customers of all sizes across the territory. ComEd also offers free facility assessments that can help find energy saving opportunities, like, for HVAC systems, all your commercial kitchen equipment you have at your house, Jay, or industrial processes.
I got more than you think. And tell me how that works again. Remind me.
All right, I will gladly remind you that an authorized engineer will work with you to develop a detailed assessment plan specific to your goals and your needs. These can be done in person or, as I prefer, virtually. I don't want people in my house, and last approximately 2 hours. Within 3 to 4 weeks, customers will receive a report detailing energy efficiency projects that you can start working on immediately. Each recommendation will include estimated energy savings, cost savings, project costs, potential incentives, and simple payback. Bottom line is you're going to save money and energy that we like to call monergy. So if you own a business, don't wait. Start saving that monergy today. For energy saving tips, lighting incentives, or to schedule your free facility assessment, please visit comed.com/poweringbiz as soon as this show is over.
Yes, and did you say comed.com/poweringbiz, B-I-Z?
I sure did. Schedule it today.
All right, we'll do that. A couple things before we wrap up. We had a YouTube poll rolling asking if people enjoyed the Blackhawks draft hat. 68% of you said no. We've got a $2 super chat here from Windy City Hockey that says Fanatic sucks at making good-looking merchandise.
Or maybe they're good at making sucky-looking merchandise.
Well, that's not ideal when your job is making merchandise. You probably want to be better at it than that.
Well, they can't have. We already have the best in the business when it comes to designing merch here at ALLCITY and CHGO, so they can't have them.
That's right. Exactly right. All right, we're going to talk to everyone. Well, I'm not. Greg and Mario are back on Monday.
Jay's not talking to anybody for a few days.
You doing a mailbag? You doing a mailbag?
Yes, let's do a mailbag.
All right, mailbag.
Can we do a mailbag where you cannot ask about the number 19 pick or if the Blackhawks will sign anyone in free agency? Those are our only two stipulations because we have answered that question on 4 different mailbag episodes.
It's tough because not everybody listens every episode, but they should.
All right. Well, when we put out the notice for Mailbag Monday, I will include the links of the last 4 shows so they can watch for those answers there. Say, if you're wondering what they should do, if Vancouver's in play for the number 11, watch any one of these shows and you'll get your answer.
Yes, and one last thing. Both Greg and I have written different things for allchgo.com in the last 2 days. They're similar, but not the same. I wrote mine and I looked at the draft sheet. I'm like, oh, are we writing kind of the same thing? And Greg was kind of, sort of, but not really. So they are different. They complement each other well. We'll just put it that way. Allchgo.com. Both of those are unlocked. So give them a read. And of course, it's a good time to become a diehard at allchgo.com. All right. For Greg and Mario and you got something else?
One more thing tonight, Seattle and Peterborough, they play in the Memorial Cup semifinal. The winner gets to play Quebec in the Memorial Cup final. So our Blackhawks trio, Colton Dock, Nolan Allen, and Kevin Korchinski, they are going up against the Peterborough Petes in the semifinal. So we'll
who were down 4-1 to Kamloops last night and won 5-4 in overtime.
Yeah. Tough exit for the host city, but
pretty amazing run for the Petes after losing their first 2 games of the tournament.
Yep. So we'll see. But
it's going to end tonight, my friend, to the Blackhawks prospects.
Let's see who advances to the final tonight. Should be a good one.
All right, go Thunderhawks. We'll talk to you Monday at 2 on the CHGO Blackhawks podcast, presented by DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook. Download the app and use promo code CHGO when you sign up. Have a great weekend. We'll talk to you Monday.